Hello. No, don't adjust your set. The Lusk people haven't lost the run of themselves at all. This time, we're taking a different view about Lusk and how it's developing. We're going to put it in context a little bit. I'm out here in the far reaches of Fingal, in fact even a little bit further. I'm out on Connacht-na-Carrick-Conaiche, the Fornocks, which is just inside the Meath border. But from here, we can look into Fingal, can look into that county of ours, and see that there's still an awful lot of it out there, untouched, no footprint of development at all. In a while, we'll go in and see how Lusk is progressing. But just for now, take a look around this county of yours. See the beauty. Have a look behind me. You can see so many parts of Fingal. You can see the Knoll, you can see Garristown, all the high points. In the distance, you can see Howth Head, the Dublin Mountains, and Lusk is over there in its spot close enough to the sea. Yes, Lusk has been developing, but it's nice to know that at your doorstep is this unspoiled monument.
The archaeological excavation dig at Dunima Lusk began on the 26th of September 2005. The stripping of an area 200 metres by 120 metres revealed a settlement of the early Christian period. This included a surrounding ditch with a bridge in access. The excavation uncovered evidence of settlement in cooking, wastage and storage remains. Surprisingly, the settlement was on land which had field outlines from an earlier period. The lack of artifacts poses a question as to the ending of the settlement and the need for taking everything in a speedy leave-taking. This artistic impression serves to help the imagination. Would it be unreasonable to consider that the settlement had a connection with the time of St. McCollum? Prior to this time, there hadn't been any archaeological investigation of any significance in the Lusk area. The settlement of the new community has, therefore, indirectly informed us of our distant past.
The building behind me is being removed in the very near future, in line with Ireland's new policy of village and urban renewal. What's replacing it is a very sympathetic development, residential, shopping, and entertainment, and I think it'll suit perfectly in the middle of this spot. Downtown Lusk, summer 2006. Last year and 2 years ago, I promised you that a new and a tasteful development was going to take place here in this square. And just have a look at what has cropped up in the meantime. Lusk has now got a new business and hopefully financial district as well. No more rushing off to foreign parts if you want to get a tin of peaches or anything like that. A tremendous anchor supermarket in this fantastic development which is behind me. Things look tasteful. This is almost the finished product for the square in Lusk. And even though you can hear traffic in the background, it's lightened off considerably because of the speed bumps that have been put in to help people make use of the ring road, the Rathmore road, round the village. Things are definitely looking up for this little village. Just as well, we waited for long enough to develop so that things could be done with sense and direction. I think this has turned out something really nice. We're still in Post Office Road. These buildings here are very much part of old Lusk, but as they say, time moves along. These buildings will move along as well. I trust that a very nice and exciting village centre development will take their place. Post Office Road, the old gateway to Lusk. The Post Office Road with no post office, but that's the way we do things here. Big changes. Big changes have been taking place here now since we were last on the street. Gone is the old temporary church. Gone is the cottage behind it. Instead, we have an apartment building. We have shops, possible offices, retail units right behind. And behind me as well, one of the signs of the times in Lusk, we have the one-way street sign. You've just got to do that to keep a traffic flow going through a village of Lusk's size. And I think, again, it shows the planning that is there from Fingal County Council to help this village become a town.
In 1981, local historian Willie Monks passed away. In the year following, a committee was formed in order to establish a museum in his name. The old church building beside the round tower was available, but was in very poor condition. With the help of Dublin County Council, the generosity of the local people, and much hard work from the committee, the museum was opened. There was a wide range of artifacts, tools, photographs, documents, implements and items which reflected the rural nature of the area and its history. Over the next few years, people staged exhibitions of their various private collections, which gave variety to the visitors. The museum was extremely popular with school groups and with returned emigrants. In 1988, an official opening was held. The large attendance included members of the Monks family, various Fingal representatives and county councillors and TDs.
Now you're standing in a very historical place, and this is by way of a celebration. We've never had an opening for the Willie Monks Museum here in Lusk, and this is to let you all know that we appreciate what you've been doing for us, both in the support that you've given us and by being here this evening.
During the coming summer, we hope to have other special exhibitions that will highlight different facets of our education, of our culture, which will educate young people, young school children, and certainly interest the older people.
Sadly, the museum closed in 1996. The church fell into a poor state of repair, and in 2004, Fingal County Council took possession of the old church and have substantially restored it. The next purpose of the building is as yet unknown. In the 1850s, prior to the establishment of the Remount Farm Lusk, there existed a new type of rehabilitative prison in that area. It was opened on the 2nd of April 1857. Convicts of good behaviour from the normal prisons could graduate to Lusk, where they were prepared for re-entry into the community. This was the first example of what is now known as an open prison, and it generated worldwide interest in social science. The prison closed in 1886 because of expensive running costs, and afterwards the British Army established a settlement on the spot, which Joe Dennis will now describe.
My father worked on the Remount Farm, and the British Army occupied that at that time, and they used to train all their horses and all their pack mules there. I remember being brought down to Rush at one stage, and I, a little lad, for to see the horses, the soldiers, jumping the horses off the pier in Rogerstown into the water and swimming them. And then they had a big ring which is still over there on the farm, where they used to gallop the horses, cinder track, and they used to gallop the horses around that and the pack mules. They'd be travelling them around there for hours. And there were some lovely buildings in it and lovely stalls there for the horses. But there was quite a lot of people who worked on it. Well, then when the war broke out in France, all the people that were working on the farm was all drafted over to France, conscripted, in other words, and sent to France to serve over there as workmen during the war. My father was one of them, and there was quite a lot of mankind at that stage from Lusk on it. Now, there was a great water supply all around that farm at the time too. All the water tanks were all automatic. Cattle or horses used to be able to take a drink from the thing, and now they just fill up like what we have now, the water cisterns now that we have that automatically fills it up. And these tanks always filled up like that. And the main water supply come from a quarry up here along the Dublin Road, here opposite Mark Taylor's. There was a huge big quarry there of water. And they pumped the water from that to the Remount Farm. And that water was pumped out through the fields then. But when you'd wake at night, you'd hear the tuk-tuk with this engine going, pumping the water. You used to always have it going at night.
It's time I stopped talking to the locals at this stage. We know where everything is in this town. I want to talk to our new citizens, the people who have moved into their new houses. You've got plenty to do at the moment, but when you have a little bit of free time, we want you to go out there and have a look at the clubs and societies in the village. We have a tremendous infrastructure of clubs and we've had them for years. First thing you're going to need when you get out there, let's hope, is your residents association. And after that, why not take out your golf clubs, have a little bit of a swing, relax. Life is not all about paying mortgages. Maybe, if you're feeling particularly athletic, you could go and join the badminton society. And then maybe when smaller members of the family arrive, how about the cubs, the beavers, the scouts, and push them on up there, teach them to dance. 3, and I mean 3, Irish dancing schools. The folk group is out there waiting to catch up all the sweet voices that are moving into this particular town. If things are not working out great for you, I'll have to say, bring that aggression down to the judo club. Lusk's aggression has paid dividends in the judo society down the years. And then, of course, tidy towns. Pat Kelly always wants a fresh victim to get out there and help Lusk maintain its position in County Dublin's tidy towns and villages and wards. The Photographic Society is always there. There's plenty to picture in the long summer days in Lusk on the Costa del Quickpenny Road. Apart from that, we want volunteers as well for the Senior Citizens Club. We want them for all the other voluntary organisations. The ICA is always out there. You don't have to be a farmer to be a member of the ICA. Just get out there. We want to see you people joining in. The Heritage Group goes back 1989, Pat.
Yeah.
It's going from strength to strength. It grew out of a little organisation called the Old Fingal Society. The Old Fingal Society more or less broke up into individual local groups after that. And Pat Kelly here beside me was naturally the engine that drove the Lusk Heritage Group and has continued to drive it very, very successfully in the meantime. We've made numerous videos, we've sponsored a couple of books. We're always wide awake to the sort of heritage we have.
Well, I had great respect for Willie Monks. Willie Monks was the local historian, and Willie had a wealth of information. And when Willie passed on, there was nothing here to record what should be recorded as regards interviewing our senior citizens and recording things for the future. And I just felt it was very important that a group got together, and I was very lucky in getting Jim, Monks, Aidan, Arnold, Paddy Weston, and we decided to do our first videos, The Story of Lusk, which we interviewed a lot of our senior citizens, and they gave them their memories of times past. And we've done lots of things since that, not only videos, but we did the restoration of the Eklund tomb. We've done exhibition to Thomas Ashe, where we planted a tree and a plaque in the local GAA. We also have done a leaflet for tourists, and we're going from strength to strength, as Jim says.
My name is Stephen Byrne and I'm from Lusk United. My current position is the Vice Chairman. We've had a lot of teams over the years and we've had a lot of success with our teams. Our greatest claim to fame at senior level was winning the Gilligan Cup in 1989 and 1990. Prior to that, we had been runners-up in 1988 when we lost on penalties. More recently though, our success has been through our schoolboy teams. And 2 years ago, under our manager Shay Carroll, we won our first schoolboy league. That led to a lot more success, and our most successful manager will be Martin Daly. Now, Martin won the league last year with his under-13s team, and this year he's been promoted to Premier, and you just don't get any higher than that. That team has also won the cup at under-9s, was runners-up twice. So they're a very successful team and they've gone a long way towards filling our trophy cabinet. This year we have 10 schoolboy teams, and there's still plenty of room for additional players and for managers or manageresses if that's the case. We have 2 adult teams, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and we have an over 35s team, and you have to be over 35. You don't have to be under 90, but you do have to be over 35. In an effort to welcome the newest members of our community in, we've got signs done up in Polish and Latvian. And it may be difficult to get the referees to speak that, but we'll do our best. We're always on the lookout for new members, players, managers, committee members, but we're particularly after ladies this year. There's a huge drive in Ireland at the moment to get ladies football teams. Currently, you can only play up to under 13 as a girl. So there's a huge drive on to get under 14s and 15s girls and get them all involved in the club, because women really are a great driving force behind the club and we simply don't have enough of them. So everybody welcome. Always drop around to the clubhouse. You'll always find a committee member around there to welcome you and give you any information you need about joining up.
Hi, my name is Jacinta Connolly and I've just taken over as president of the Lusk ICA Guild since June, so I'm new to the job. I just want to tell you a little bit about our guild here in Lusk. It was founded in 1966 and we started off with 64 members. Our numbers fluctuated over the years, but at present now we have about 50 members. We have a very active guild. We meet on the first Wednesday of every month, and we do have various speakers and demonstrations at our monthly meetings. Some of these would include lectures on health, on grooming, social problems, gardening, handcrafts and other topics of interest to our members. As I said, we're a very active guild, and especially in the summer we run an awful lot of activities. We have a walking club weekly. We have members who play golf. We have members who do pitch and putt. We've badminton, and we go bowling about 3 or 4 times a year. And we also have a very active drama group. There's a good few of our members are very interested in flower arranging, and we have ran classes over the years, and a lot of our work can be seen at various times through the year at our local church, where we decorate the altar for different functions and weddings and communions and that. On communions and confirmations every year, we get involved with the local schools and we provide sustenance for all the families after the ceremonies for them, which is very much appreciated by the local community. This year we celebrated 40 years of our guild here in Lusk, and was an honour to have our original president, which was Eileen Sweetman, and a few of our founder members, Margaret Bentley and Kathleen Brown, to name but a few. Plus we have a lot of younger members now, which is fantastic for the guild. We go on various outings through the year. We go dog racing, we go to the theatre, we go on different cultural trips as well. And every November, for the last 30 odd years, we go to An Greenon in Termafeckin, which is run through the ICA, and we could have anything from 70 to 80 women for a weekend of us crack ceol agus rúla búile. We pick our own classes, what we like to do, which can be anything from cookery to learning how to use your digital camera. We have great fun and recommend anybody to join us once you're female. And we'll always welcome our new members the first Wednesday of every month.
School Rinca Fingal is an Irish dancing class which was formed in 1986 by Margaret Harford and myself, Elizabeth Finnegan. Margaret and I danced together and trained together under the direction of May Dillon from Balbriggan. Our very first class was attended by about 10 pupils, one of whom, Mary Fagan from Rush, still dances with us, and she's just sat the first part of her teacher's exam. These first classes we held were in Margaret's house in Rush. In the late 80s we moved from her house and we started classes in Rush and Lusk National School, and since then we also have a class in St Catherine's in Rush. From the beginning we had some very promising dancers, and we designed a class costume which had a cream background with pink and turquoise embroidery, and we still have that particular costume as our class costume today. Rona Kelly from Lusk was one of the first pupils to purchase the costume, and this year in 2006 we were delighted to welcome Rona back to join us to dance at the twinning celebrations for Rush and San Mauro, and together we went numerous dance routines in Sicily and in Palermo. We continue to teach traditional steps and more modern dance, and this year we've taught Cayley dancing to all classes in Lusk National School and Rush National School. And Irish dancing has provided us with the opportunity to visit such places as Scotland, France, Canada and Sicily. And in all of these places we've been very proud to showcase our class and their talent. And through dance we've made lifelong friends and countless happy memories.
Hello, I'm Mick Dennis. I'm involved in the club since I was 14 years of age. I actually played with a junior team in 1938 at 14 and a half. I was won all competitions, hurling and football with the club. And I was treasurer of the club for 25 years, but I retired in the last 3 years. But I'm still president of the club. Well, this is the Round Tower's centenary year. We started in 1906. Now this is the Fesh Cup final. Jackie Kelly has the cup. We won that in 1948. And all the fellas is on it, like Desi Kelly, Michael Jenkinson, Christy Jenkinson, and Richard Devine. Now he went to Australia. Jackie Kelly is holding the cup. I'm there on the left myself. This is the photograph of the team before we played the final in Croke Park, when we played our friends from Ballyboughill in the final of the Junior Championship, and we won 7 points to 1-3. We just won by a point. And that's our juvenile committee, or Joe Weldon was chairman of the club, and this is the team that won the Junior Championship in 1992 in Swords when they beat St. Vincent's. And this is just the crowd celebrating after the match was over. So now with all these new people coming into Lusk, they're all welcome to the club. And we'd like to have some more players if we can like to come to us. They'd be welcome.
Rhyming verses of Lusk, its happenings and its people were a common feature of village life for many years. This was before TV, cheap travel and a better spread of wealth. The legends of sport, politics and social position would all be mentioned in variety performances held in the Carnegie Library, Lusk. Jim Finnegan, local man, continues to use the rhyming tradition to express his thoughtful and humorous observations of things in general. History in the Making by Jim Finnegan. A group of the locals was saying one day how part of our culture was slipping away. We've nothing on record how things used to be, so let's make a film our children can see. We'll tell of our heroes of Ash and McCann. We'll cover all aspects of life that we can. We'll tell of the remount it's now falling down, how once it was part of this small country town. The cobbles now silent, the soldiers long gone, but captured on film the memory lives on. We'll tell them of Brightree, Cuchulainn so brave, the Barnwells of Turvey in their carved marble grave, the tower with its turrets, the nuns in Grace Dew, the jail and the workhouse and Baldungan too. We'll dress up our friends and we'll act out the past. We have all the props, all we need is the cast.
From 1987 until 1991, we recorded St. Patrick's Day parades every year, and it was something that we were doing just for the fun of it. But when we look back now at the little videos we made, I think we captured a time when Lusk was coming out of the isolation of being Lusk and going just about to start into the massive expansion which is what Lusk is today. So I just want to show you some of the images that we did capture at the time, some of the excitement and maybe some of the innocence of it, and just look at some of the people who are now gone, who are passed on, some who are children and are now grown up.
Could we speak to yourself or the donkey?
Yeah, you can speak to both of us. There's not as much gabbing myself as there is in the donkey.
It's a great parade, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very good. I come here every year and enjoy it very much. Great crowd of lads, and in fact, it was very good last year and other years, but this year it's much more, and it's improving every year, and I'm delighted about it.
I think so. I think you speak for the donkey as well. I won't bother asking the donkey.
Well, that's right. He's a little bit shy today.
Okay, thanks very much. What do you do in your club? Tell me something about your club.
You bait each other up.
You what?
You bait each other up.
You bait each other up, right?
Yeah, we always play games and we always fight people up.
Fighting people up. Can you give us some idea of your own club, of the Lusk AC? Tell us what you do. You don't beat people up, do you?
We run.
Cross country.
Right, we run.
Any major achievements in the last year?
He won.
I won me both All-Irelands. I won me under 15s and under 16 All-Irelands, under 15 and 16s Leinsters and under 15s Dublins.
We're rather concerned about Nick MacDonald, and I must say I have to get up and ask just how Nick is feeling. Yeah. Nick, could you tell us exactly, everyone is wondering, are you going to get better?
I'm only here for the start. I only come for the start, for the stay out of work. And instead of that, here I was planked into bed.
Right.
And I think it's most unfair.
Well, I actually...
There's other patients behind here waiting to get into it.
Right. Very colourful little family. I think they're the Arnold family. They may belong to myself. Let's talk to some of them. Martina, are you out for the day for the St. Patrick's Day parade?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Look at all the floats.
Great. And Christine?
Look at them all as well.
You've all got posters, or at least I think Sonia has anyway. Later on in Murray's, haven't you? Huh?
Yes.
Right. So it's going to be great, isn't it? Yeah. We'll talk to Sonia. Sonia, you've got posters. In fact, Sonia did about 8 posters for the competition. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Are you hoping to win something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sonia made her confirmation this year. And then the mammy, well, I don't know. This is a German influence here. What about the St. Patrick's Day parade?
I wouldn't think much German influence. I'm enjoying the Irish parade here, the St. Patrick's parade, which is really, I think, something very, very Irish. And
Grandma's feather bed. So let's talk. Let's talk to some of the people in the bed. Let's see. Let's start here. Now we'll run along. Let's not be the same every year.
Hello.
What's it like in there?
Oh, it's very warm.
Is it?
Very warm indeed.
It doesn't look very comfortable.
Oh, it's a bit. Oh, it's okay. Very comfortable, very close together here.
There's no men in there in this bed, is there?
No. We're very close together in here.
Grandma, or Ma, which would be to be more accurate. What's it like sitting there now? I mean, does this bring you back?
it brings me back 70 years.
But 70 years ago you were hardly even here.
Oh, I was.
Okay, it's a lovely float, Mammy, I must say.
Beautiful float.
It's a beautiful float.
Now the girls put endless labour into it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and you got the starring part. Was that because you were the oldest in the ICA that you got Grandma?
Well, I don't know.
No, I shouldn't ask that. I'm sorry. Are you going to Italy?
I'll put you on our spokesperson.
Anne, our spokesperson.
There she is.
Are you going to win? What's the question?
Are you going to Italy? Would anybody sing a song?
People always ask us who we are, where we come from, where we come from. And we always tell them, we're from Lusk.
I think you're 80 years old this year, isn't that right?
That's right, yeah, 80 years this year.
Which is a fair old achievement.
Yeah, we mightn't all look that old, but whoever.
Yeah. But looks can be deceptive. You could be that old.
No doubt.
How are you saying that?
I'm talking, look at the back row if you want to see the old lads.
Oh, they're at the back, are they? Right, right. The good-looking lads are in the front.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, yeah. Are you having any particular celebration for being 80, for the band being 80 years old?
Oh, we will have a celebration later on.
I think unfortunately you was knocked a bit in the head with poor Liam Murray dying.
Liam Murray, yes.
Yeah, which is very sad, I think.
Very sad, and he'd be a big loss to the town.
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And a loss to our band.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm sure Liam would have liked to see it going on. So you'll have your celebration sooner or later.
We'll have it within a month's time, I'd say.
Great. I think Lusk are proud of you.
Thank you very much.
John Joe Scally, you're here for T-Junction. Right. You must be one of the finest examples of T-Junction's haircutting that there is in Lusk. Would that be fair to say?
One of the best hairdressers in Lusk.
Yourself?
Is the T-Junction.
Oh, I thought you meant yourself.
One of the best hairdressers is the...
Right. And I hope you're getting paid for this advertisement now, John Joe.
Oh, fortune.
Done anything special this year?
No. No, not really.
No. Where do you play?
Cornerback.
Cornerback. Are you good?
Ah, yeah. No.
Okay. Next for shaving. The man with the freckle.
Yeah.
Name?
Kevin Carr.
Kevin Carr. And how long have you been in the club?
Like 2 years.
3 years. You're almost always the same, are you?
Yeah.
Beside you?
Brian McAvoy, age 9.
Right. Are you an older member then?
No, 3 years.
3 years too. It's a good team, this, is it?
Yeah.
Who exactly are you in Oklahoma?
I'm Laurie.
You're Laurie in Oklahoma.
I'm the,
Do you break into song later, no?
No, I don't, no. I sit pretty.
You sit pretty, well, you're sitting very pretty. It's a lovely float. It must have taken ages.
Yeah, all the hard work, the ICA, very good, great ladies.
Great ladies, and a lot of them I believe at this
stage.
Yeah,
I'd say there's about 70.
Yeah, somebody told me the last meeting you had about 60 at it.
Yeah, well I'd say in all, I'd say around 70.
Where are you all coming from?
Well, I've only moved back to Lusk.
Right.
I am from Lusk originally.
You were from Lusk?
Yes.
And where did you go to?
I went to Swords.
And you had to come back?
And I came back.
Well, you're looking beautiful in there.
Thank you.
There's a lot of Irish dancing going on at the moment, and Scullrinky Fingal, I think, is very active. We were chatting to you earlier on, you said you were going to dance later, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Huh? You're not dancing in the street on the way?
No.
Huh?
No.
Have you won anything during the year?
Yeah.
For what?
Dances.
Keep the old flags down till we see the face. Huh?
Yeah.
For what? A reel, a slip jig, a hard reel?
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
How do I know all those things?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't dance anyway. That's very... It's a good school, is it?
Yeah, very good.
Right. Anything bad to say about the teacher?
Very good teacher.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, very good.
This is your pride and joy we have in front of you here, right?
All 20 odd of them, yeah.
All, how many?
I think there's about 20 of them here that's on.
Right, have you taken any of them to great heights this year yet?
Some of them have been in the Dublin Championships, the bigger girls at the top, and they did well. And they're going to be at the Cayley then after dinner. And we.
So how
Right. How often, what nights do you do, or when do you teach?
Saturday morning from 11 to 1 in the old school.
Right, right.
So
you, of course, would have been a pupil of May Dillon years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
Exactly. Back in your youth.
In my youth.
2006 saw the 100th anniversary of Carduff National School. It's been a wonderful little school that I look out on every morning when I wake up and when I go to work. And this year there was a tremendous group of parents who put together a series of activities to celebrate the 100 years. In the end, we finished up with Mary McAleese coming out, which was a wonderful, if rather rainy day, to celebrate Carduff National School.
Boys and girls, distinguished guests, friends and neighbours, I'm very pleased to be able to welcome you all here today on this very special occasion.
A very, very, very happy 100th birthday. Aren't the kids looking remarkable now for 100 years old? I think they're looking brilliant. Not a beard inside her grey hair. That is quite amazing, isn't it? Quite amazing, huh? It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's good to be here to celebrate a 100th birthday. I'm only really getting invited to 100th birthday parties nowadays, sad to say. Don't get invited to 10th birthday parties anymore. Don't get invited to 21st birthday parties anymore. Don't even get invited to 50th birthday parties anymore. So I have to settle for 100th birthdays now. And this is a really brilliant 100th birthday, isn't it? And the children have worked incredibly hard for this 100th birthday, haven't you? They were telling me about all the cleaning they had to do of the classrooms. The mummies and daddies will be expecting that to be translated straight to the bedrooms, isn't that right? Yep, they will. I often pass by this school, you know, and I'm thinking to myself just as I turned in the door, how many Irelands have passed by the door of this school? How many different faces of Ireland these last 100 years? Those 1,000 young people who came through this door, who went out into the world, they went out into 1,000 different lives and 1,000 different times.
This year marks the 90th anniversary of the uprising in 1916, a pivotal period in our history. 10 years ago, we set up an exhibition in Lusk which recorded Lusk and its activities or its connections with 1916. It was a really enjoyable and well-attended function, and it was contributed to by an awful lot of people who had still got strong memories of 1916 and its aftermath. So we've some images that we recorded at the time which I think are interesting.
You're all very good to come to support us in this exhibition, and I welcome also the Cathaoirleach of Fingal County Council, the Chairman Davy Byrne, and the fellow councillors of the area. The exhibition, of course, as you probably have all seen, is a commemoration of the 80th anniversary of the 1916 Rising. And here we are in the very centre of the Fingal nucleus, if you like, of the revolution. The man who figures most prominently in the story in this area, of course, is Thomas Ashe. He came in 1908 as a teacher to Carduff National School, one of the outlying schools of the parish of Lusk. And in Easter week, 80 years ago, the 28th of April, these heroic men, roughly 80 of them, set out with Tom Ash to carry out the rebellion in this part of the country. After attacking many police barracks on the Friday, they attacked the one at Ashbourne. And unknown to themselves, it turned into a fairly big battle that lasted roughly 5 hours. However, it was the one decisive victory of the whole Easter week uprising.
A year later, we recorded the death of Thomas Ash. Thomas Ash, who taught in Carduff National School and who died in 1917. At the time, in 1997, we planted a tree in memory of Thomas Ash in the grounds of Round Towers, an organisation which had direct connections or direct links with Thomas Ash. So again, we have the images of that time, and again, I'd just like to let them speak for themselves.
I should like to thank everybody, and I can say from the people of Dingle who had a commemoration like this last some weeks back, that they were delighted to hear that there was something similar being done here by the local community, and I'd like to thank the local community and the councillors for their interest in it. And I will now attempt to plant the tree in a way that will not cause a difficulty in the future. I just feel myself that there is nothing more appropriate to Thomas Ash than the fact of putting something living there, because he himself had a great interest in the whole area of nature study. The next bit, yeah. But I think that's a very fitting and a beautiful stone, and I really would like to say to young people as well, and I'd say a few words inside, about the importance of remembering people like this. I really like to say to young people in particular, that, you know, when we look back in history, we wonder what's it all about. And I know I'd be the first to say that when I was growing up in Dingle, we thought it was more important that Thomas Ash was related to Gregory Peck than I was a bit older before I figured out the real importance of his life. And I suppose I'm conscious then that people come to terms with things as they get older. But I myself, as Thomas Ash, I'm General Secretary of the INTO, and Thomas Ash's family were very involved in the INTO for many, many years. He himself was involved with our Dublin branch. He was a tremendous teacher and educator, and that's the first thing I want to say about him. He's not perhaps remembered as much about that as we would like. He was an extraordinary educator. He took an interest in children with special needs at a time when most people felt they should be kept at home. He was a person who was prize-winning, a teacher teaching in the Spole, in his own area before he came up here.
2006, another film done, and at this stage 2006 has passed it. The longest day has come and gone. Another year consigned to the past. Out there, though, is tomorrow, next week, next year, the whole future. And believe me, that future will bring change the same as the past has done. The Heritage Group has over many years sketched and shown the story of this place from the very mists of history right up to Today. At this stage, I think our work is nearly done, because this last series of films has shown Lusk in transition, Lusk in change. Our laid-back little village, which hadn't changed, let's face it, in over 100 years, has been pulled and pushed and developed right up to the present. It's one of the fastest growing towns in the fastest growing county in the fastest growing country in Europe. It's real, folks, it's happening. For better, for worse, like it or lump it, this town is changing forever. We can't regret it. We have recorded it. And thank God we have so many citizens still who can recall those good old, bad old days. But now, I think the only way to move with this change is to listen to the song. You've got to roll with it. Yes, Lusk people, congratulations. You are rolling with it. Plenty of you are doing just that, through the clubs and the societies who have their roots in the long ago. The past, the present, the new and the old will unite. I'm being serious here. It's not going to be a bed of roses. Every town has had its share of problems as it develops. But in this case, I'm quite sure that every gathering and every group, every sport and every society will smooth the way and will assist this new place to find its place. I can only say with a fair degree of certainty that in 20 years or 40 years, no matter how big this town is, everybody who lives here will say, I'm a Lusk person.